Hi, everyone, and welcome to Soul Activation Podcast. I'm Suzanne Alexandria, and I'm joined today by beautiful soul sister Chernise Spruell. And we have quite a journey ahead of us for the next bit of time. So thank you for joining. Soul Activation Podcast is about talking and discerning and understanding what it's like to really light ourselves up from the inside, to get really clear and to really follow our truth. And Chernise is a blessed example of someone who lives that every single day. We're live on Transformation Talk Radio, and it's such a pleasure. For us, spirituality is such an inside job, and we really are talking transformation. To me, that's about this allowing of healing and really actually revealing. Even the word reveal implies, well, maybe you've done this before, right? It's about allowing yourself to get real about who you are, your soul on the inside. And for me, that's it precisely because when we do that, we actually get to experience the life that we came here for. If we're not real, we kind of stay stuck or we keep our light under a bushel. But my guest today certainly does not do that. We've got a few stories and we've got some live channeling. Chernise is going to bring in one of our Archangel friends to channel. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that. If you'd like, you can post questions. If you're live on Facebook at Transformation Talk Radio, you can submit questions or call in. The number is 800-930-2819. So Chernise, my dear friend, my soul sister, channel of Archangels and Ascended Masters. In full disclosure, Chernise has been one of my instrumental guides on my journey of opening my channel. So I'm so happy to have you join. Welcome, sister.
Thank you. It is such a pleasure and such an honor to be here. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to share with others just some of your journey, some of my journey, because there's been a lot of humor in the journey.
Yeah, this one we are going to work through humor and show that, humor helps get you through when life is getting crazy and you're like, what's going on with my whole life and frankly, my body as this stuff starts to activate. Because when we talk letting yourself activate, right, it's super physical. So we are going to get into that.
Yes. And I'm really glad because not everybody is aware of some of the physical aspects of allowing divine energy to flow through you or just to be more of your divine self. I mean, you just think, oh, okay, so I meditate and then I'm going to be in this different space, which is true. But sometimes if part of your divine contracts was to channel and you're going to be allowing this energy to move your body parts might start moving before you're consciously aware what's going on or why it's happening. So it can be a very interesting journey.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we should just go into that and share with that one story of how, so Chernise is a New Yorker and let's do that. And then we'll go a little more into your history, but I remember you talking about how when your body was starting to really get activated, like soul codes, what happens for listeners is that literally soul codes get activated. Your contract gets activated. There's lots of ways to look at it. And your body does have to learn to allow this light, like Chernise said. And so then some stuff has to get out of the way too in the 3D. So will you just talk about that, like how you were walking around New York City and what happened?
So interesting. I mean, there was a time where I had broken up with my boyfriend. I needed to find a new apartment within maybe about a week or two. I was just very stressed. And I had been listening to Abraham Hicks, just recordings all day, just to keep my vibration high. And I remember I was walking at one point, and then I just felt as if I was being walked, as if the totality of my being moved up into this small part of my head, and then another being was walking me. And at this
Mm-hmm.
time, to be fair, I was walking around looking for apartments, hoping that someone had posted a sign up saying we need a tenant. And it was the strangest feeling. And so there was this one day that this happened. And then in the future or after that, I can't remember when it happened. Again, I can't remember if I'd already started channeling or not, but I do know that I wanted to buy a scarf for my dad for Christmas. And I was walking in the same sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, but I was being walked. So by this divine
It's
energy.
kind of like a puppet, right? You're
kind of like a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
It felt very safe.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. And I remember wanting to go into H&M to buy a scarf for my dad, and my body wouldn't go into H&M. So I was thinking, okay, well, this is interesting. And I sort of tried again, but I wasn't forcing anything. I was really enjoying just the uniqueness of the experience. And then when I got home that night, I called my mom and I said, Mom, does dad wear scarves? And she said, no. And I said, has he ever worn scarves? And she said, no, never. So it's like, thank you, body.
Oh, divine intervention.
Divine intervention. So my dad didn't have a scarf from his daughter, who loves him so much, who doesn't have to hide this gift and say, oh, I love it. I just thought that was very funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, did you all, when that started happening, did you know what a channel was? I mean, you listened to Abraham Hicks already, so I guess you had that context, but did you even suspect anything about your own connection with angels at all? Or?
Not at all. So probably about 7 years before that, I did have a woman channel for me. Like a friend, I'd gone to an audition. I was a dancer at the time, and ended up speaking to a woman, and she told me about a friend of hers who channels. And so I had a session, and it was the most beautiful thing. Even though I didn't really believe in channels, I was raised Methodist, or I didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
And then I started being introduced to Abraham Hicks, and the vibration just felt wonderful, and it resonated. And I had been reading books by Saint Germain at that time, so I was definitely more familiar with it. But I remember when I heard Abraham Hicks' story, I was totally envious and jealous. I was like, yeah, something like that would never happen to me. Meanwhile, my angels are cracking up and are like, just you wait.
Yeah.
But I truly didn't think that was nowhere in my mind. I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't think it would happen. So it was very much a surprise. And hindsight, of course, it makes a lot of sense. But at the time,
I know, right? You put the pieces
sense.
together, and you said once, well, of course I end up doing that. Like all the pieces come together.
Yes.
But in the midst of it, yeah. And I can imagine there's listeners today, there's people waking up today so much more than even, when you began, you're a pioneer. And so there's a lot more resources, and your channeling program, you as a resource. And I've always thought you're lucky that you grew up in New York City and Brooklyn, because there's a lot of yous there. So for people who are seeking tribe, that's one of the things too, because it's kind of important. Like who else did you reach out to, or how did you find support?
I didn't, which is one reason why I'm so grateful to have this program now. I will say that at the time that was happening, I was working with a spiritual mentor. So she happened to be clairvoyant, but she didn't know that I was becoming a channel. I was working with her about every 2 weeks, just to really get an understanding of the way the universe interacted with me. And it was just a magical, magical time. And I remember one of the first things that started happening is my body parts would move. So I'm at home watching television, then all of a sudden my left arm lifts up and shoots out to the left and then flies back down. And so, of course I tell her, and she was saying, do you need to see a doctor? And I remember thinking, this is energetic in nature. There is no part of this that feels like a doctor would know what's going on.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so
they'd probably try to sedate you.
They probably would. They might say, yes, there's nothing wrong with you. Come over here and we're going to give you a lovely little jacket. No, I mean, she was the support, and that she was there for me to tell what was going on. So I could tell her, like, oh, my arms started moving as if there were wings. I didn't know there were wings at the time, but my shoulders started moving. And so she was at least a sounding board. So I didn't think I was losing my mind, but there was no one else who had gone through that. There was no one else who, I remember one of the things that happened to me is I would walk into certain stores and then I would feel almost as if I was being pressed down, and I would have to leave the store. And I've never been a claustrophobic person. I love small spaces, and there were just so many strange things that started happening at one time. And so I didn't really have any support, which is why I love being able to give the support now. I mean, yes. Yes.
Oh, awesome. And we'll talk about your program, your channeling program, for people who find themselves in these places that, that hopefully they will find this podcast and find you. We'll give details later on in the show. But I mean, that was what started happening to me and why I was so grateful to find you. And luckily we had started working together when those same things started happening. And I remember when I was literally on a walk, and then I found myself in this wide open soccer field up on a hill, and the same thing happened. It was safe, and Spirit took the opportunity to show me that I could surrender to that energy and to the trust of them holding me and guiding me very, very physically. And I had to close my eyes up there. I made sure no one was around, and I really was walked around in circles all around. It happened at home too, but that was the first time out there. And so thankfully, to have a coach like you so that I would understand, because if that happened, I would not know what it was.
It's strange. Yeah. I just remember you telling me one time we were talking, and I think you said your guides were just spinning you in a circle, and I was just like, that sounds about right.
Trust.
You are becoming a channel. This is definitely your guides getting comfortable with your body and working things out. And
so they can literally move your mouth, help you move. It's so incredible. And it becomes this surrender, really a surrender into trusting that you can really surrender literally part of yourself for this to come through. So did that take time for you to feel, like till the words came out?
Yes. And you know what? I actually just remembered something. So you asked me about my support. I'm trying to remember. Okay. So no, the support came when I started automatic typing. So that's right. So after I started automatic typing, it was very, very lovely. And it was a being who said her name was Rose, but I found out later that her name was Mother Mary. She was very beautiful because she said to me, she wrote through me, "We would like to start speaking through you soon.
Oh, so
please
beautiful.
Get a recording device." It was so lovely. Yes. It was so lovely. And so I remember sitting at my computer one day, and it was the strangest thing because, she didn't say, "This is how you let someone talk through you." She just said, "Please get a recording device." And so, I kind of knew what I was supposed to do. So, or I at least knew that I was supposed to go to the laptop and then turn the recorder on. Yeah. And I just remember thinking, this is so weird. It's Saturday in New York, and I'm sitting in front of a computer trying to let other energy speak through me. But the first day they spoke through me, the only thing that came through was hello. But it was funny. It was fun. It was like they were just trying to work things out. So basically what was coming through was like, hello. Yeah, the mechanics.
Yeah.
And so it was really funny and still very strange. And the second day, the only thing they said over and over was, "We love you all as well. We love you all." Oh my gosh. Like, so lovely. There was so much love, even though it was very strange. It felt very protected and safe and so beautiful. It was just so beautiful. There was so much love.
And I'm sure it was so visceral, because when that starts happening, you can feel it.
Yes.
You're safe in the divine. And Mother Mary is still one of your main overlighting angels, right? Oh,
Yes, she is.
yeah, you're
She's
under her
overlit the
wings.
channeling program. Yes,
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
under her wings, and it's just beautiful. Just
Hmm.
very beautiful, very lovely.
So in a few minutes, we'll ask you to bring in your special archangel friend. But I wanted to chat a little bit about going back because there's a definite French connection too with
Yeah.
languages too. So Chernise speaks French beautifully, fluently, and I love her voice in that too. But what tell us about that connection and how that is part of your story?
Well, it's very interesting. I'm still trying to find the origins of the connection, but I know growing up, I just always had a love in things that were related to France or French food. And I grew up in South Carolina, and I came to New York when I was maybe 25. But when I remember before high school, my mom said I needed to pick a language. Spanish is very practical, and I was like, no, I wouldn't speak French. So there's just been this love of languages and a desire to communicate, and for some reason a desire to master the French language as much as I could. I didn't know if
Hmm.
I could, but as much as I could. And I just remember when I was at the audition, like I said, I met this woman named Brooke, and she told me about Saint Germain. And I remember getting one of the books from the Saint Germain press. And I don't know if you've seen the books, but the ink is this beautiful purple color. It's not black. And I remember just opening up this book and reading it, and immediately feeling energy. There's so much energy. And Saint Germain was the first. Like, I didn't even know that Jesus was called an ascended master. Um,
Hmm.
but Saint Germain is basically the first kind of ascended master that I knew of. And there was just such a strong connection for a very large part of the beginning of my journey, maybe the first 5-10 years, just very,
Hmm.
he was my connection. And so he's French,
Yeah.
in that life. So I think
Yeah.
there's that connection. And I went to school for a year in the south of France. So I don't know what his connections are in the south of France, but
Hmm.
there's always been a very strong bond with
Yeah.
France and Saint Germain for
Well,
me.
and we have the Magdalene connection there too. Oh, that's
Yes,
so fun. I
yes,
just
yes,
feel like for listeners, one of the cues is like if people are finding themselves reading channeled material, that's another way you actually get the vibration of the channel and of the being that's being channeled. And so they carry very powerful love vibrations, and it's just something to highlight for listeners, right? Because it's another way we get
yes,
touched, and there's so many channeled books out there now that
yes,
pay
definitely.
attention. If you start to feel something and you're not even sure what this is, like look it up and where is it coming from, because there could be a reason it landed in your hands or you're listening to it, and it's all
Yes,
part of it's all these are all tools and parts of our awakening to the other
yes.
realm and to energy and all of that, because it's all energy
It's
too.
all energy. And I think it's because there's maybe a purity of the multidimensionality of messages that come from that are channeled.
Mm-hmm.
So there's it's a very pure words and frequency that it's naturally healing, like it's
Yeah.
naturally true. And I don't even mean like maybe people can channel different messages, and so words, sometimes the messages might not feel like they apply to you for some reason, or maybe they don't apply to you, maybe they for someone else, but the energy
Mm-hmm.
is for you, and that goes beyond the ego. It goes beyond words. It goes beyond trying needing to consciously understand something, and I think it's much more present than just when you're speaking to someone on the third dimensional plane,
Mm-hmm.
because you might not be aware of the fact that you're of this multidimensionality. And so I believe that the divine guides that can be channeled are very aware of this opportunity to give you this nudge, this energetic nudge, when you're in this space that when you're open to reading these words. And I just think it's so powerful. So it's very possible that if you read other books that don't, that don't necessarily move you, and you open a channeled book, then you might really feel the information. But you
Mm-hmm.
definitely, like Suzanne said, take note of that,
Mm-hmm.
or honestly, you might not even have to. You'll probably just be so happy that you'll just attract another channel book and another channel book.
Yeah,
And then
you'll just,
before you
someone
know
will
it,
give
you'll
it
be
to
calling
you.
us. You'll be like, why is
Yeah.
my head rolling in circles?
Exactly.
We can tell you why.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's allow the archangel of the day to come in, and I'll just say, like, take note, because Chernise is she embodies the archangel energy, so you'll notice the shift. But who are you going to bring in today?
I am going to bring in Archangel Uriel. And the funny thing is, I thought I was going to wear a green top, but I was guided to wear this yellow top. And yellow and gold are very much associated with Uriel, which I didn't do on
Yes.
purpose, but
Or did you?
maybe
Yeah,
I did.
that's the color I always see, Uriel. And before you start, it's funny. I just want to ask your interpretation, because when you look at images of the archangels, especially, there are masculine and feminine. And talk just briefly for our listeners about that. Like, because for me, I experience Uriel in the feminine, but you experience in the masculine. And it doesn't really matter, but it's just kind of still something that I always have to get my head around. My heart.
No, yes, it makes sense. So, what it to me, I feel like the vibration of the archangels is high enough that basically it's non-gender. So, my understanding of the physical plane is that there's such density that the high vibration beings needed to be split, and there was like a natural masculine and feminine polarity that is a result. And so the archangels, they're pure frequency, they're pure energy. And I think what they do is, if we see them, they tend to take on an appearance that we feel would be acceptable. So instead of looking
Yeah.
at like a monster, so we're not scared, so
Yeah, that's like a familiar. Yeah. Yeah.
and so right now, or what we're aware of on the earth, is either male or feminine. And then there's also the fact that there are certain qualities that we attribute to the angels and certain energies that we feel. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think because of our own filter, we might think, oh, this is more masculine, or oh, this is more feminine. But in reality, it's just
Mm-hmm.
vibration. I mean, if you get really, really deep, technically, we're not masculine or feminine, we're light,
We're both.
believing that
Yeah,
we're
we're
beings,
all. Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
we're not even here. So
Yeah.
it's
It's, yeah.
but I would also say you don't even necessarily need to try to get your head around the fact that whether they're feminine or masculine, just know that they're love, here to assist you, and just open up to that love. And I do want to say, I always recommend shielding your energy, like honoring the integrity of your own energy field, so that you don't just let any energy in. But still, you don't have to get hung up on whether they're masculine or feminine. Just know that they
Mm-hmm.
are divine
Your
beings who
love.
love you without end, who are willing to assist you if you ask.
If you ask. And that's the key.
That's the
Okay.
key.
Thank you, Shanice. Let us please honor us and all listeners with whatever Uriel would like to share.
Yes, dear ones, very good, very good. Yes, very good. Yes. So, one thing that we would like to share with you at this time has to do with the value that you are placing on your own vibration. This is very, very important, and we're going to tell you a few reasons why. So, what is happening on the earth at this time is what is known as ascension. It is quite simply, in its simplest form, the fact that the energy around you and that is moving through you and that is moving through earth, which is your support, is raising. It is becoming higher and higher. It is aligning more with your true vibration and with the true vibration of all things. All things are extensions of source, Whereas on the earth plane, there's a very dense energy that has been clothing very many beings for a long time. And so you can say, in effect, this dense energy is relinquishing itself, and you are aligning more with who you really are. Now, one of the greatest attributes of who you really are is that you are a co creator. You are a creator and you are co creating with the divine. So, what this means is that all of your energy in your energy field is going to be consistently and continuously enhancing and will be, you can say, magnified to a certain degree. And what we're saying is that you can imagine a flashlight inside of you shining on all of the areas where you love yourself, all of the beliefs that you have where you love yourself, all of the beliefs where you don't think you're good enough, all of the wounds that you have not healed, all of the areas where you have not forgiven yourself, all of the places that you have, all of this is being sort of put under the spotlight. And a very large percentage of this is active in your subconscious. Your conscious is still directing the ship, but your subconscious is working as well. And so when the totality of your being is being activated to a greater and greater degree of its ability to create and with greater speed, so that you see it manifested in your world, then it becomes extremely important what is in your energy field, in your collective bodies, physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional, and also what it is that you're allowing into your body. So you may have heard the term sovereign. Sovereign, in very simple terms, means that you are the only being that is influencing your energy. Other energies can, but only with your permission, and that you own this as truth. We would definitely suggest that you move into the space of being more and more aware of what is going on in your energy field. Can you forgive yourself? Can you release this? Do you need to block something from coming into your energy field? Do you need to, and you do not have to say, no, you cannot come in my energy field. You can. You could also flood it with love. You can say, of course, you can enter my energy field, but only as your highest divine self, so that you're aligning with the vibration that I intend to embody or that I am embodying now. This is just very important for not only for yourself, but very definitely for yourself. You came here to assist other beings, but you also came here for your own experience, your own growth. But when you are radiating this beautiful light, this ascension energy, this wonderful flashlight that is expanding all that is you, your manifestations are very greatly influencing the lives of others. You have contracts, quote unquote, we will call them, with other beings. So, for example, if there is an area where you feel very insecure, you have a contract with a very beautiful divine light being that may incarnate as your boss and sort of push those buttons and help you feel unworthy until you adjust that within yourself, so that the things can shift in your external world. Now, there is no need to feel guilty, but until you have this energy healed, then you're going to be calling forth people that are going to mirror it to you. And so that is the beauty of when you heal yourself, when you forgive yourself, when you free yourself, you are also freeing other beings from needing to play certain roles with you. Now, there is no need to feel guilty, like we said, and thinking that they are only doing this because of where you are, because it is serving them as well. The universe is quite efficient in the way that it works. But at this time, because there is such joy for you when you really take ownership of your energy field and really claim it and claim that you are sovereign in your world and you are the only being that has permission to influence your own energy field. And when you really do work to forgive, to heal, to release, there is such beauty, such flow, such ease that you experience in your being that is reflected and manifested out in the world around you, and also ricochets out into all of life, dear one. You are that powerful. You are that special. You are that important. And you are also so loved, and you are so, so very supported. Whenever you would like assistance, feel free to reach out to any archangels that you feel connected with. We cannot intercede unless you ask. So it is very important for you to ask. We can only interject if you are in a life or death situation. We would rather you not do that to get our attention. It is just as easy to say, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael. It's very easy to do that. So we would much rather you do that, dear ones, and really begin to ask from a place of joy and act from a place of joy rather than acting out of response of being um, in a place that is feeling negative or uncomfortable, dear one. So we're hoping that that makes sense. So that is what we would like to share with you today. We would really, really love for you to. You can find videos on YouTube. You can find different books about forgiving yourself, about healing yourself. This is just going to be a very important thing to honor yourself, to care for yourself, to love yourself, to really create the most powerful shifts in your world, and to really, really affect society to a great degree. And also, one of the beautiful things is the more you purify your energy field of things that no longer serve you, of these wounds that were based on limited thoughts and beliefs that served you at the time that no longer serve you, the more your energy field is going to extend. So some people call that your aura. And what happens is when your aura is full of love, this beautiful healing energy, and it extends further and further, it's going to harmonize more of the world around you. More people are going to walk through your energy field and feel better. More people are probably going to approach you, or in this time where there's sort of a quarantine, you might find more people calling you or messaging you, but it is a really beautiful thing. Beings love, and you will definitely find that your animals, if you have any, are going to be calmer around you. It's Love is such a beautiful healing thing, dear one. So that is what we would like to give to you today, just to really honor your energy field, love and care for yourself, take responsibility for your own sovereignty, and just allow yourself to see what that does to you and for the world, and be in joy as much as possible, dear one. We love you greatly. We're going to bring Chernise back in now.
Oh my goodness. We'll let Chernise kind of reorient. Well, I say thank you to Archangel Uriel and the Archangel realm, and thank you, Chernise. There was so much packed into that. I would say this is a good thing to re-listen to. There was a lot there. I wish we had a whole other hour because we could go into a lot of those messages. But I keep hearing that song, All We Need Is Love by the Beatles while Uriel was saying that.
Nice.
And you know, times like
Nice.
this show, it really is true. That's the quintessential message of the Archangel realm is like love heals all. Light, be the light and let it heal you. Let it heal you. And we know firsthand that to be true.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Chernise.
You're so welcome.
Mm. So I want listeners to hear how they can find you. Where do they find you online? And what are you offering these days?
Okay, well, you can definitely find me at my website, which is CherniseSpruell.com, CherniseSpruell.com. You could also go to Instagram and look at my bit.ly link, because I have more of my offerings there. I offer one-on-one channeling sessions and healing sessions. I also do weekly Archangel long distance healing sessions on Mondays and Wednesdays. And this year's theme is Ascension. So it's helping you with the Ascension process. On February 18th, I'm going to be teaching a light language class with Rainbow Soul Collective. But like I said, all of these links are on, if you go to my Instagram bio, there's a bit.ly link. And then I also have a free gift for you that helps to align you with your divinely abundant self. And that is going to be the very last link on my bit.ly link. But yes, there's, if you can go to Instagram bio, bit.ly link, a lot of stuff there. And feel free to go to my website and just send me a message through my contact page.
Reach out. You can just reach out and get on the phone if you want to talk about her program.
And I have a channeling program. Oh my goodness, I have an 8-week channeling program. If you feel like you're becoming a channel or would like to learn how to channel,
baby.
Thank you, Suzanne.
If you're getting the signs and you need the guidance or seek the guidance and support, it's a wonderfully loving, it's all love, all light, and it helps you. I mean, your program is tailored. Like when I was doing it, everyone is a different kind of channel. You know, we don't all embody like you do. There's also writing, there's also singing, there's lots of things. So Chernise is a beautiful resource and source light.
Thank you.
Let me ask you, we've got just a couple of minutes. Tell me what comes to mind, and maybe it's based on what Uriel just brought through, but what would be your number one advice for listeners who are thinking about either getting messages from angels or that they're becoming a channel? What comes to mind as far as any advice or guidance?
Advice. So I would say getting advice from the angels or archangels is absolutely lovely. They're very empowering. They're very, there's unconditional love. You really feel like you're being held in a beautiful, loving space. I remember the first time I had a channel session, I bawled, and that happens a lot with clients that take my sessions. So know that they're not going to say, if you ask for, when am I going to meet my true love? They're not going to be like November 4th at 5 o'clock, look out of the window to the left, there's going to be a man in a blue shirt. They really want to empower you. And then if you do feel like you're being a channel, now there are signs your Kundalini could be rising. So you might not be becoming a channel if you are having physical experiences. I will say if you are a Reiki teacher, you're probably becoming a channel because of the fact that you've already done such work on your vibration. If you go to my website and then there's the page for Learn to Channel, I talk about something called channeling transition symptoms. And there's a link you can click on for a PDF that lists some physical symptoms that you might be having.
But you could that's a good resource.
Yes. And you can also, when you go to my bit.ly link, I have, you can set up a divine clarity call with me. It's 20 minutes. It's free. And that's good for just discussing like, is it Kundalini rising or am I becoming a channel? And, what would be the best next step? So those are the bits of advice I would love to share.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, soul sister. Thank you, angel. Oh, there's so much more. We'll have to do this again.
I would love to.
I just want to say, let's say to our listeners, I'm so delighted because it was a whole other topic we pondered about sovereignty, and Uriel brought that in. For all of us, remember, you own this heart, you own this life, this soul. And, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to play with it? How are you going to let the light in to heal and to be yourself fully expressed? And sometimes you end up like Chernise, like bringing through these amazing messages. So thank you for saying yes to your divinity, to your sovereignty, for it took a lot. It's pretty brave. And I just commend that force within you that said yes to it, because the world's a better place because of that, girl.
You're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Well, visit CherniseSpruell.com for more. Re-listen to Uriel's message, by the way. And I'm Suzanne Alexandria. We're going to take a short break, and then I'm going to come back for a few moments with another Archangel, Michael. We're going to actually do a soul activation for the throat chakra when we come back. So stay tuned if you want a little more Archangel Juju. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Chernise.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Soul Activation Podcast with Suzanne Alexandria. We've just been listening to amazing channeling and guidance by Archangel Channel Chernise Spruell. And today I am really so delighted to bring in some more Archangel light and activation. So Soul Activation Podcast is about igniting that light within you that wants to be brighter, that wants to shine more, that maybe is ready for a new adventure, that wants to heal, that wants to settle. Lots of reasons why we do this. And so each time I do these recordings, I'll be sharing an actual invitation to receive. All you have to do is say yes. And we'll energetically realign, bring in, lighten up energy in your particular energy field. If that's new to you, that's how it works. And you can feel free to write in questions or reach out to me if you have questions about how this works. But today we're bringing in Archangel Michael energy. Archangel Michael is one of the overlights for my work. I'm an intuitive healer and a coach. I coach professionals and people waking up to their own spiritual and healing gifts. And Archangel Michael works with me always as protection. And also, he's one of the light forces that helps with the awakening. And so if you're in this process of being cracked open more, of saying yes to yourself, call in Archangel Michael, call in this divine love that helps really bring in the soul and the I am presence in the body. Because to me, this ascension work is all about being in this body. It's one thing to kind of live in the world and the realm of spirit way out there, but I like to get really practical. It's about being in real life. It's about living day to day with this connection. And for a lot of us, that means bringing in energy and making adjustments to the body to allow that. So if that's new to any of you, reach out. We could talk about what that looks like or how I could assist. I teach Reiki. I teach lots of modalities to help with this soul embodiment. But for now, all you need to do is say yes, sit back, and unless you're driving, don't do this. Close your eyes and allow yourself to receive the gift of this graceful divine support. And today it's focused on the throat chakra. So taking some nice deep breaths, allow yourself to settle. Allow yourself to feel the presence of divine love, and probably you're already feeling softer and more aligned because of the vibration that Chernise and Archangel Uriel brought through. So that's all part of it. Feel into your body and notice if there's any areas in your body where they might feel a little unsettled, maybe a little blocked. And allow those places to melt a little bit like butter on a warm pancake. And then bring your awareness to your throat. Archangel Michael's energy and vibration is going to work with your entire throat energy, which extends around like a ring, almost like a luscious donut around your whole neck. And if you're listening to this, and if you've said yes, your soul is seeking some higher understanding and some higher intuition and some knowing of the truth. And the throat chakra is what governs your truth, your sovereign truth, your sovereign identity structure. Each person has that uniquely, his or hers. And so allow your throat to receive a gentle persuasion into a new truth for you. This is only for you. It's what your soul would like for you, just to be very, very clear. And Archangel Michael's presence reflects and works with the vibration of your blue throat chakra to help you assimilate into the truth of who you are. He asks, who are you? Do you know? Do you realize that you're a divine beloved soul on this planet? that you're the son or the daughter of the Most High? Do you know that? Do you know how much He loves you, how much God loves you, how much the angels love you? Are you willing to let that sink more deeply into your body as the foundation of your creation? And if you find yourself answering yes to these questions, you might be noticing subtle energetic feelings or sensations in your throat as your throat chakra adjusts, because the chakras are very mechanical. The body is quite magical and magnificent in how it works. And the chakra systems, well, it's energy. It's like an engine. Each one is a temple. It's like its own engine, helping govern thoughts, responses, reactions, truths, helping you find your voice. In the case of the throat chakra. So simply allow the subtle shifts, and perhaps this vibration and this attunement is helping you sink down into your body just a little more. Imagine a bright solar disk, a sun right above your head that shines down on your head, into your head, through your whole crown chakra. And that solar disk, that sun, is your higher self. It's your God self. And let it shine down in these beautiful golden rays, pure solid gold, that shine down into your head space and around over your head. And then into that beautiful throat that's receiving this adjustment. It's a co-creation by your higher self and Archangel Michael and the other Ascended Masters, and even your personal guides. Your guardian angels are right there with you now and always, rest assured. So they're standing by. But your body is allowing this reception. And so much of our lives, we kind of forget to allow, that we can allow. We spend our time diligently working away, diligently doing this or that, asking for things, trying, going for it, but allow. The archangels are so often showing us what happens when we allow. When you can allow the light in just a little bit more, the door opens a little bit more. Your heart opens to allow and receive. So allow this sunlight to shine down into your belly and all the way down through your legs and your feet. It's your divine I am presence, your own higher self, your soul, however you want to see that. And it's filling your body in the way that's perfectly unique for you on this day, in this moment, whenever you're listening to this. So allow that to be. This is activating within you certain light. I like to simply call it your eternal fire, your eternal flame, the candle in you that wants to shine, that you're not going to hide under a bushel basket, right? We've been taught so many ways about this light. So let it melt, let it feel like soft golden honey working through your body. Because what you're doing is allowing yourself to fill this beautiful vessel with a little more light. And the more you do that, frankly, from my perspective, the better you feel. It's an antidote to things like depression and anxiety, even, to allow yourself to receive source light. So take some deeper breaths with your belly. And allow, and this energy will continue for you in just the right, perfect, divine ways. Feel free again to call on Archangel Michael or Uriel or any of our archangel friends. We have to ask, but they always answer. So if you'd like a little more assistance with this, feel free to go in with prayer and meditation to these beautiful beloved beings. And if you're interested in cultivating an even deeper connection, deeper awareness, understanding of who your angels are, understanding of your own healing gifts or what healing you need, then reach out for assistance. I'm available at SuzanneAlexandria.com, and it is my pleasure to be of the highest divine service. And as we conclude, we'll imagine your whole body in a beautiful pink bubble. Archangel Michael's light is blue. It's the color of lapis lazuli. It's the color of the throat chakra. But he is bringing in this pink soft bubble around you so that you can feel so safe, so ensconced in the angel light, compassion, unconditional love, Christed consciousness. That's the place where all of this comes from. So allow this pink to assuage, to relax you, to help you connect with Mother Earth. And feel free to continue this journey either now or in the future. Take this into nature, this presence of being and connection. And so I say thank you on behalf of all of our Ascended Masters and angel guests and hosts and friends. Thank you for listening to Transformation Talk Radio, to Soul Activation Podcast. And I'll see you here every second and fourth Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Archangel Michael.